Tennessee State to just 3 of 13. Klubnik zips it down the field. Wesco in stride, and the Tigers are on the board. Wilson Pat Henry's become more and more of a factor, particularly in the run game. Here's Klubnik off to the races. They pick up right where they left off against Appalachian.
It's 2nd and 9 for Clemson. Klubnik with plenty of time. Found his man in the seam. It's caught. Williams, touchdown, Clemson.
All right, there we go. Sorry, guys, if we were muted. Welcome to the Tigers Den podcast. Kenny, give me a thumbs up if we're live.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
It's probably because of the sound.
Yeah, but I got us live. Waiting for a thumbs up. There we go. All right, everybody, we are live. We got audio now, Thomas. So
we're all out of sorts.
We're all out of whack today, guys. Sorry about that, but let's get right into this episode. Let's forget about everything that we've been going through trying to set up. Greedy win at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Snuck out of there with a 24-20 win. I thought it was a good first half overall. Quarterback Cade Klubnik, Antonio Williams. It was all you could ask for from your offense in the first half, and then that second half was pretty bad. We'll get into this game, but give me your overall thoughts and reaction of that game. What you like to see out of that Clemson team that actually sneak out of on the road with a tough win. Because the last 3 years we lose that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Pitt was overlooked. Obviously, looking at their record this year, they were ranked for a long part of their season. So obviously, going on that road and playing in their environment and getting that win, that's very big for us. That also is a good testament for us. We're battling a lot of injuries. We'll talk about a little bit. Some players were supposed to play that didn't play due to injuries. Some players got hurt, first drive. Other players got ejected.
Yep.
We'll kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people overlooked Pitt and how good they actually are. I'm not saying that they are one of the best teams we've played, but they're actually a pretty good team. Their defense it's up there. I was listening to the announcers. Sadly, that was awful listening to announcers. But
Greg McElroy and Sean McDonald, if you're gonna sit there and one-sidedly pull for a team, I think Greg McElroy that played at Bama, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's still recovering from the 44-16 national championship loss. Him and Feinbaum. But I agree with the announcing. I was obviously there in person, but I couldn't hear it.
It was rough.
Yeah. So obviously the running game shut down all game. Phil Mafo, 17 carries for 17 yards, average 1 yard a play, and his long was 6 yards. That can't happen. And like you said, Pitt's defense was better than we thought. But still, man, you got our O-line's been good all year, and then it seems like the last 2 weeks, obviously we can't help Elijah Thurman going down the first play of the game. He's a freshman. He played very good at Virginia Tech. And went down first play of the game. And then so you got young guys coming in. You got Trent Howard, senior, coming in. But, you couldn't get it going all game. And it was just tough to get it. You couldn't establish it at all.
Yeah. And I think that's what killed us. Obviously, you listened to their defensive coordinator before the game. He said, we're going to shut their run game down. If they throw it over top of us and tear us up, deep balls, that's how they're going to beat us. He said, let it be. And we did. We did a lot of that in the first half. But I think at the same time, yes, they were shutting down our run game. But that's when you start – I think we were trying to run it up kind of close to the line. They were really pinching that line a lot.
Yeah.
I think obviously on the 4th and 2, when we tried and pitch that play, Dabo said they've been holding that play and been waiting to call it. And he gave credit to Pitt's defense. They shut that down. Now, I think that was a specific time where you don't maybe pitch it outside. But another thing that I wouldn't have mind seeing Saturday was maybe get Jay Haynes in there. I feel like Jay Haynes is a little quicker, a little more shiftier than Maffa. Maffa's more of a kind of a power back build, but put somebody in there that's a little bit shiftier that can kind of break a tackle and step out of those tackles. But hopefully, and we'll talk about it a little more, hopefully this Saturday against Citadel, we'll see a little bit more of Jay Haynes and see what he can do. Because, I mean, the stuff we've seen from him up to this point in the season, I've really liked what I've seen.
Yeah. Guys, remember, join the conversation. Call or text your questions to 843-858-2079. I want to talk about Antonio Williams.
Yes.
Like we've been saying this for months now. Clear wide receiver one. Pull up his stat line. He was 13 receptions for 149 yards, averaged 11.5 yards and 2 touchdowns, and his longest catch was 28 yards. And then Cade Klubnik in the first half was, I think, 23 for 26, or 20 for 26. Obviously, those 3 drops I can name, but he finished the night 27 for 41, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'll take it. And man, QBR 67.2, but I don't know. But without Cade Klubnik, we don't win that game.
We don't win that game.
He got that rushing at the end of the game. And it's just like, this kid's getting backlash still. He's clear in the Heisman race. And, I mean, of course, I'm going to be biased, but if he finishes these last 2 weeks, Cade Klubnik, I don't think there's any reason he shouldn't be invited to New York.
I agree. If he finishes these last 2 weeks and these last 2 testaments, the way he's been playing the past couple of weeks, obviously you had that Louisville game, and then Pitt kind of fell apart second half, but then he stepped up right there on that last drive. I think you do see more talks of him being up there, and I think a lot of people are shocked and surprised that he's up there. And obviously you're going to hear, well, they didn't play anybody. You look at Cam Ward. Cam Ward's up in the same talks, and they've played the same opponents, the same conference. But I really liked what I saw from Cade. Obviously, first half they were firing, taking over, passing the ball, looked really good, even though they were shutting down the run game. And obviously, second half they come out, they're kind of slow, lackadaisical. Oh. But at the same time, on that last drive, I really liked that play from Cade. He said they called his number, and just to see him confidently take off down the middle, and he wasn't looking just to get a first down. He was looking for that touchdown. That's what I really like to see, and you could kind of tell the way he was running. He wasn't looking to get 10, 15 yards. He was looking to get
to my Cade's touchdown. Yeah. And, on that play, I'm going to pull it up here in a second if I can get it up. But, at one point, it was looking like he was going to go out of bounds. Yeah. And then he saw TJ Moore lay that block, and it was a clear open field. So, I think QB1 is playing out of his mind. Obviously, he could be a little bit better the last couple of weeks, but he's still playing good football.
And I agree. And I think even going on he could be a little bit better, I think some of that comes to not putting blame on our O-line, because like we said, our O-line is definitely getting hit by some injuries, having some starters out, and then having a starter that played really good against Virginia Tech and go out in the first play. So they had Walker Parks that usually plays right guard. He played right tackle.
Right.
And so that you kind of got to work around that. And I really think that if we have a fully healthy O-line, I think that Cade definitely plays better. And I think he has a lot more confidence just because he feels like, okay, I've got a little bit more protection. I've got more time to sit in the pocket and make those passes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's talk to me about TJ Parker. It seems like, we haven't seen that TJ Parker, that freshman TJ Parker since last year, obviously. But, dude, monster game from him. Had a slow first half, and then he said, it's like the offense played good first half. Defense was kind of slow. Yeah. I mean, we still held them 7 points. TJ Parker said he took all of his clothes off, his uniform, everything, and just got back in. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, I'm getting reset. And went out there and had the game of his life. Obviously, Sammy Brown goes down, the targeting call, had to miss the second half. Redshirt freshman D. Creighton steps in. I was very satisfied with D. Creighton.
Very, very.
He almost got ejected as well with the hands. Hey, but
that's a.
But I want to talk about that. It was a clear call. It was a clear foul.
I'm not disagreeing with the call. I'm disagreeing with the fact that they wait 5 minutes.
5 minutes. If you see it, it's that clear. Throw the flag. Pitt player goes down. Then they discuss it. That's why Dabo said, "Hey, I see the foul."
Yeah, we're not arguing that it wasn't a foul. Like, we're taking the blame for the foul.
Yeah,
we're arguing how are you able to make that call
correct
minutes after that has happened when there was no original flag? Like, how do you go back on that and throw the flag?
Well, they can't tell you, because even, this is where I'll give Greg McElroy and Sean McDonald some props. They've been hating all game, and then they're like, look, clear flag, but call it on the play.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody watching that game,
Yeah.
Clemson, Pitt fans, everybody at that game, I think they felt the same way. Obviously, that call should have been made, but call it right there. Like
Right.
you see it, call it right there. But it is what it is. But looking at the defense, it's kind of like what I've been saying every week. I feel like our defense has been kind of, obviously, I know we've been dealing with some injuries here and there, but kind of felt like our defense has been, I mean, they get the job done, but I feel like they haven't been doing a whole lot. But TJ Parker was a guy that I was really heavy on last year. Loved him, loved seeing him play. He's so aggressive and flies around the field. To see a monster game from him, and pretty much a monster game that kind of basically helped us get that win. I really love that for him. And obviously, he's a sophomore. He's still got one more year. Still got a lot of stuff left in him. But another guy I got to give a shout out to is Ashton Hampton.
Yes.
Freshman coming in, but named co-starter this week for corner. I love to see that. I mean, he's 6'2", I think about 200 pounds. It might be more. I don't really know his build, but I know he's a tall one, and he just, like, watching him defend, I really like that.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to John Crawley from Hartsville, South Carolina, Citadel grad. He says, "Go Citadel Bulldogs." Getting the chant going. I love it, John. Thank you, sir. Bubbles from TR. Bubbles stops in every week, man. I'm loving it.
Love it.
Bubbles from TR here. I'm on the way to Little John with the kiddos and the new minivan driving.
Well, we got to know what kind of minivan. We got
see there, hashtag Bradball. Guys, if you're in the Clemson area, get out to Little John Coliseum at 7:00 p.m. tonight. The Clemson Tigers take on Radford in the Sunshine Classic or something. It's a home game, and then they'll play in Daytona next week against San Francisco, who beat Boise State, beat us. So,
and talking a little bit about that game, yes, we lost that game. Watching it, Clemson just wasn't hitting all their shots. They had a lot of shots that just weren't falling. Meanwhile, on the other side, Boise State had a lot of shots that was falling. But looking at Chase Hunter, at the beginning of the season, he said, "I'm coming back." I'm like, okay, if he plays the way he did in the tournament, then
I think he has a chance to win ACC Player of the Year.
I completely agree, because watching him play these last couple of weeks, it's almost, I didn't even think there was another step he could take, but he has taken it.
Right.
I mean, he had what, 30, 31?
It was 30 points. Yeah.
30 points at Boise State. I mean, in a
tough road environment.
Tough road environment. They were hitting their shots. But, I mean, that makes me really excited to watch that team keep playing and keep balling.
I'm excited for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We're about 30 minutes from Clemson. We're about the boogie. We got Jonathan Hall from Clemson, South Carolina, who is running back one next year. I think Ezi Amume or the BHP freshman guy coming in. It's kind of hard to tell. I think, depending on what Jay Haynes decides to do, I think if he sticks with the program, which he should, you got to look at him. Keith Adams. I mean, Keith Adams made a huge jump since last year. So give him another year. You never know. I think our running back room is going to be very, very, very
stacked.
Yeah. And you never know. This is the kind of year we could go. I think I could look at some misled information. I don't think we can offer guys that. Can you offer guys out of the JUCO transfer portal at any time, right? And then I think it's D1 guys or power whatever or FCS December.
I would love to say that.
Because I swear I saw we offered the number one JUCO running back in the nation. I could be wrong. I like that. I think if Jay Haynes stays, I think he's probably a prominent RB1. With Keith Adams playing pretty close behind him, I think they're a lot similar in the way they play, the way they run. Yeah.
So I see them a lot similar. But I wouldn't mind seeing us go get a power back, kind of like Maffa. Just somebody to where if we're in the tight situation on 4th and 2, 4th and 1, or on the goal line, we can punch him in there and run the heavy set like we did a couple games with Peter Woods and them in there. But also, I think having Jay Haynes and Keith Adams in there I think they're a lot shiftier, a lot quicker. They're more the type to just break out. If they bounce off a tackle or bounce out of the gap, they break out and they're 20, 30, 40 yards run, maybe even a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about a little bit of O-line depth. Obviously Tristan Lee, Marcus Tate did not travel to Pittsburgh last week. Elijah Thurman went down first play of the game. Me personally, Tristan Lee sitting, Marcus Tate sitting. Let the other guys start. Like we need Walker Parks get some reps. Obviously, he's an older guy. If you can't take off playing football.
Yeah.
Now, if you missed last week, let's just another week get ready for South Carolina. But I'm starting my starters.
Yeah. I'm starting them at least for the first quarter.
First, I think first half.
I
Because you got to think.
You got
a lot of people
warm.
a lot of people look. Oh, Citadel, you can just start your third string quarterback. But if a guy hasn't played football in 2 weeks, he's going to go there versus South Carolina and be all out of whack.
No, yeah,
let him play the first half, and we can't even. Obviously, it's the Citadel. South Carolina's playing Wofford, but you still treat that like you're playing Alabama.
Yeah, it's no regular. You play
your starters.
A couple years ago, Citadel went and
beat South Carolina on the
Willie
road.
B and beat South Carolina at their place. So you can never overlook
the midweek.
Can't overlook the midweek. But obviously, I agree. I think put the starters in, let them get some reps, keep them kind of warm, mentally, physically.
Sorry, John. Hey, I said we got to take it like you're playing Alabama.
But obviously, I think you play the starters. I'd say even maybe play them some of the first. I'd say minimum play them first quarter and then see where you are. See where you are at that point. But then if I'm Dabo, I'm also not hesitating to put the younger guys in there and let them get a chance because obviously you see with our injuries, you never know when you might need those younger guys. So to get them as early as you can to get them reps, I think that would be the best thing for you.
Yeah. Ty Barber says, Cole, thoughts on Saturday night's race? Does Max put the dagger into Lando and take home the fourth? I think he's on the wrong podcast. It's on my Formula One racing. Come on, Ty.
I'm a NASCAR guy. So
yeah.
I don't know much about
F1. Looking at guys like DeMonte Capehart, you just got Peter Woods back this week, Trey Williams back running. Obviously we're going to sit him another week. He's in the day-to-day process, so they can give him another week, and I think Capehart goes against South Carolina.
I agree. And then something I saw from Dabo's press conference the other day, they're moving Peter Woods back to defensive tackle, and Jaheim Lawson has been named the starter for the other DN
I'm
spot.
loving Jaheim out there.
That. I love that because I agree. A lot of people were saying, Peter Woods is such a big body, like he can just stop the run on the edge. I agree. I like that. But at the same time, I prefer him being in the middle because he can clog up those gaps a lot better. And then you've got guys that are probably a lot quicker, a lot shiftier with their moves, like TJ Parker and Jaheim Lawson on the end, where they're a little better at containing a run. So if a run tries to go outside, which is what's going to happen looking at Carolina next week, I feel a lot more comfortable with them. But I really like that. I think Jaheim Lawson, kid coming from Daniel, obviously brother of Shaq Lawson, coming in and stepping up and kind of making a name for himself, saying, you know what, my brother, he was a dog here, but I'm here to make a name for myself, and I love that for him.
Yeah, let's get into Clemson's chances for an ACC championship game berth and the college football playoff. So looking at it right now, you need Miami to lose one game. And
I don't think
the Wake Forest Demon Deacons do it?
I'm not saying that they
can't.
They
do it, Thomas?
I'm not saying that they can't do it, but it's about who shows up and plays.
Well, I tell you what. Obviously, we know the better team is Miami.
Exactly.
Wake Forest going on the road. Wake Forest averages 30-plus points a game. Miami's defense is not good. If Wake Forest can just score, they're in the ball game.
Yeah.
Looking at Duke. Duke had that game won in the fourth quarter and then ended up getting beat by 40.
Yeah, they gave
in the
up.
fourth quarter. Do I think Wake Forest wins the ball game? No.
I think there's
a chance.
I think there's
do they pull a Clemson after the bye week, Miami?
That could be true. They may go into looking okay. And I'm not saying Clemson did this against Louisville, but they may have had the same mindset. Okay, it's just Louisville. It's just Wake Forest. We just had a week off. We play them at home. We've got this handled. As much as I would love to see Wake Forest win that one, I don't think they will. But at the same time, I think they have the potential to do, basically give Miami a run for their money. Because I truly don't see SMU losing 2 games. That obviously they're at Virginia. They're at Virginia this week. Virginia obviously could pull out a greatness play and upset SMU, but I don't see that happening.
Wait, yeah. So if Virginia beats SMU, then we're in. Because
that's where I don't know, because it's still
SMU would have the head up on Louisville.
Yeah.
But we would have the head up on Virginia.
That's where
I think our best chance is Miami losing again.
Yeah. And even if I had to look for this much, but even if Miami doesn't lose to Wake Forest,
I think Syracuse.
I think Syracuse has a really good chance at Syracuse.
Miami Cam
Miami's
Ward going
ranked
on the road
against a pretty good
Syracuse team that
pretty
probably
good
should be ranked over Missouri. Hello. Why is Missouri still ranked 23rd?
And that's my thing.
For staying this, you stayed the same after losing on the road?
And that's my thing. And I know there's going to be some comments and some hate.
SEC bias.
Missouri had the same record as Pitt. And just saying, Carolina fans were like, okay, we got a ranked win this week. That's good. That's good. Y'all are supposed to beat them.
This is my point. No hate to South Carolina. They won the ball game.
True. Yeah.
Okay. Does Missouri have the resume to still stay the same in the top 25 when the 3 ranked teams they've played all year, they got beat over 70-plus points combined?
Plus, they barely won on a scoop and score against Oklahoma at home.
Yeah. There's a couple more games they could have lost. Boston College at home, they almost lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but not to harp on that, but obviously the rankings, they don't always matter and they're always weird, but I don't know. I just feel like there is some sort of bias, but you know what? Bias or no bias, you just go out there and you play your game. You're going to get biased no matter what. Against you, for you, doesn't matter. You just go out there, play your game, do your thing, and the score should show, the win should show. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little carried away. Yeah, but like you said, I do think the best chance is Syracuse obviously going to Miami on the road, or Miami going on the road to Syracuse. Yeah. And I think it depends on what Kyle McCord you get that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
If you get the Syracuse Pitt, or was it Syracuse and Pitt? Where he threw
he threw 5 touchdowns to the other team.
Yeah.
He threw
he threw 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns to the other team. 5 picks total. That's insane.
Yeah.
But granted, looking at playing against Pitt, we thought, looking at that game personally, I don't know about you, but I was like, okay, well, Syracuse is overrated.
Right.
But then playing against Pitt, not saying they have the best defense in the nation, but their defense was surprisingly, they surprised me. They had a pretty good defense.
Yeah. We're going to get into the college football pick on part of the show. Guys, sorry if this is an unusual video, but we have been just scrambling around trying to figure. We didn't know if the show was going to happen. And I hit my brain. I said, Thomas, go get your laptop. Let's mirror.
It's just, it's been a long day. I think it's getting close to Thanksgiving. Can't wait to go home, get some good food.
Oh, yeah.
And then come back and hopefully get a win that week.
Yeah, so let's start off.
Not to mention there's not many very good games this week for the college football pick. It's a rough week for college football.
So we got the Citadel, Cross State Military School. Citadel coming to this game 5-6. Clemson Tigers coming at 8-2. We'll keep it simple in a score prediction. I got Clemson 56, Citadel 10.
I like that. I think Clemson, I'd say they probably put the 2s and 3s in about third quarter, fourth quarter. I'd say Clemson 48, Citadel 14.
I like it. Number 5, Indiana traveling on the road to number 2, Ohio State. Indiana coming into this game undefeated, but a lot of college football analysts think that, does one loss Indiana get in the playoff? I think yes. You can't punish a team, especially like Florida State was undefeated last year. Mm-hmm. Was not included. I think it was all because of Jordan Travis not playing. But in the 12-man playoff, if you're an undefeated Indiana team going into this game and you lose, I think you're still in the playoff. I think the committee to do the right thing. But they currently have Ohio State minus 10.5.
I
think Ohio State wins this game by 14.
I agree. I'm saying Ohio State 35.
Go like 35-17 or something. Yeah, I think they win by 14. I don't know how many. My math's not good there.
And it's at Ohio State, so obviously Indiana going in that environment, playing there. I think Ohio State will pull this one out. So,
yeah, number 14 BYU going on the road at number 21 Arizona State. BYU coming off a terrible loss to Kansas.
Terrible loss that won me some money.
I'll
throw that one in there.
That's okay. I'm gonna pull up the spread real quick. I am very not prepared tonight, but
they've got
it's -3. Mm-hmm. Arizona State favored. I'm going Arizona State in this game. They're 8-2. They've proven they can win good games. Obviously they're not in a very tough conference.
If they got their kicker,
Big 12.
I remember the coach went on their press conference
and
told
tryouts are Monday.
Yeah, tryouts are Monday. We need a kicker. So obviously they are 8-2, ranked 21. So they must have either figured something out or found a kicker. But I like Arizona State in that one. I say they win by a touchdown. I'm going to say about 35-27. 7.
Yeah, and then we'll do one more for the state of South Carolina. We got Wofford Terriers going 2. Willie B. Give me the Cox big.
All right, yeah. I just coming from – I've got some people in the family that are Wofford grad, but they are currently at Carolina. As much as I would love to see Wofford pull the upset, I think the Gamecocks take care of this one.
Shout out Thomas's brother Clayton Mathis, former Wofford basketball staffer, and shout out Jackson Gore, former Wofford basketball player.
Might as well shout out
Rudy Gore, former Wofford staffer. So yeah, the Claytons, the Mathises and the Gores. We've got
some strong ties, but then we'll throw another game in there this week. I didn't even see this one. Number 19 Army at number 6 Notre Dame.
You know what? Give me Army an upset.
Yep, let's do it. Why not?
Why not? That would actually help us out.
Yeah,
it would help us out. So, and the Gamecocks' favorite help them out too, just depending on what happens the rest of the year. And it's going to be an exciting game.
They've got Notre Dame right now -14, but I think this is an Army team. I'd love to see Army win this one. I don't think they do, but this is an Army team where you also don't know if they come out to play you. They may keep this. They may not win the game, but they may keep it close. So I'm excited to see that game.
Yeah, but guys, sorry to keep it short today. It was a kind of scrambled episode. We just had to get something out there since we were off last week. We didn't get an episode in. I was traveling to Pitt. Thanksgiving's coming up next week. We're gonna get an episode in. It will be a virtual, but
it'll be a.
It depends if you want to do it on a Wednesday or you want to do it Friday when we come back. You can do it the day before.
We might have to do it Friday because this could be a very big episode. It's got potential to be a big episode.
Should we?
No.
Should we keep it a secret?
We'll keep it.
You sure?
Because we still got to figure it out. Well, I'm still
guys. Potential
special guests coming on, making a special appearance. May have something to show y'all. So
yeah, may have some diamonds,
some jewelry.
Yeah.
We'll say some jewelry.
But
looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I know obviously you probably have a lot of people coming in town to the game. I know I've got probably 5 or 6 people just in my room alone. But
I'm excited.
Better not hear any complaints about the sleeping situation. You are where you are. Sorry, Jackson, if you're on air matches, you or Rudy. But I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm ready for it. But it's a short episode this week, but
okay.
We got our point across.
But guys, join us back next week for the Tigers Den podcast. Like we said, we got a couple special guests going to join us. As always, I'm Cole Gerard.
Thomas Mathis.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Held East Tennessee State to just 3 of 13. Clubbing, sits it down the field.